I've been working in a warehouse for a medium-sized online retailer for about 4 years. It's not glamorous work, but it's honest. You pick orders, load trucks, and try not to lose your sanity when someone orders 27 different phone cases in one go. The job itself isn't bad. Most of us get along, we joke around, and the pay isn't terrible. What is terrible, however, was our new supervisor, Rick. Rick was one of those managers who thought leadership meant acting like a drill sergeant. He'd been transferred from another facility because, according to rumor, his management style was too intense. That should have been our warning. When Rick first showed up, he gave this long speech about efficiency and accountability. He promised that if we gave 110%, he'd fight for us with upper management. That lasted about 2 weeks. See, the warehouse runs on tight deadlines. Orders come in all day, and we have to make sure everything's packed and ready for the trucks by 10 p.m. Before Rick, if things ran late, management either paid overtime or let us come in early the next day to finish up. Fair enough. But Rick decided we should volunteer our time after hours as a team-building effort. In plain English, he wanted us to stay late without pay. He'd say things like, "We're all family here, right? Sometimes family makes sacrifices." That line made me want to throw a tape gun at his head. At first, everyone tried to play along. We'd stay maybe 15, 20 minutes past shift, just to keep the peace. But it didn't stop there. Soon it became an hour. Then 2. Then it was just expected. People started grumbling, but Rick shut that down quick. "Hey," he'd say, "if you don't have a work ethic to stay a little late, maybe this isn't the place for you." He knew we couldn't afford to quit. Jobs in our area aren't easy to come by, and he used that like a weapon. The final straw came one Friday night, when the system went down right before the cutoff. Rick demanded we manually process every single order, scanning, labeling, logging everything by hand. We worked until almost midnight. When we finally finished, everyone was exhausted and furious. As we were leaving, Rick called out, "Oh, and remember, corporate doesn't approve overtime, so don't clock out late. I'll adjust it manually." We all looked at each other. Nobody said it out loud, but we were done. That was the night we decided Rick's little team-building experiment was going to backfire. Now, the thing about warehouses is the people who actually do the work usually know way more than management does. Rick had no clue how the systems actually ran. He just barked orders and assumed things got done by magic. So we came up with a plan. Not malicious, not destructive, just a little compliance with Rick's own rules. First, we started doing exactly what he said. No initiative, no shortcuts, no helping the process along. He said, "Don't clock overtime." Fine, we didn't. But that meant when 10 p.m. hit, we stopped working. Whether the truck was loaded or not, we put down our scanners, clocked out, and walked out. He said, "No unauthorized early starts." Okay, we all waited in the break room until our exact start time before touching a single box. He said, "Follow procedure to the letter?" You bet. Every barcode scanned, every slip verified, every pallet triple-checked. No rushing, no improvising. Within 3 days, the warehouse was behind schedule. Orders started backing up. Customers were calling. The regional manager was calling. Rick started panicking. By the end of that week, Rick was a wreck. He started staying late himself to set an example. But because he didn't actually know how the system worked, he just made things worse. He'd print labels wrong, missort packages, even delete entries from the system because he thought they were duplicates. The best part? We logged everything. Every mistake he made was tracked under his supervisor ID. Our lead packer, Sarah, kept a neat spreadsheet of every lost order, every delay, every correction he made that broke something else. After 2 weeks, we were 3 days behind on shipping. The regional manager showed up in person to find out what was going on. Rick tried to do his usual motivational speech routine, talking about staff discipline and laziness. But Sarah, bless her, politely interrupted him. Actually, she said, we've been following all of Rick's directives exactly. We can show you the logs if you want. She pulled up the spreadsheet, timestamps, system notes, everything. The manager looked like she'd just been handed gold. Rick's face went pale. The meeting lasted about an hour. Nobody knows what was said, but when Rick came out, he looked like he'd been hit by a truck. He didn't say a word to anyone, just packed up his things and left early. The next Monday, a memo went out. Effective immediately, Rick will be transitioning out of his supervisory role. We never saw him again. A new supervisor came in a week later, a quiet guy named Paul who'd been promoted internally. First thing he said at our morning meeting was, no unpaid overtime. If we're running behind, we'll clear on the clock. The entire room actually clapped. Paul's been great ever since, fair, respectful, and most importantly, he actually listens. Productivity's back up, morale's good, and nobody's had a volunteer since. A month after Rick left, we heard through the grapevine that he'd tried to pull the same stunt at another facility and got caught again. This time, HR opened an investigation into timesheet falsification. Apparently, he'd been adjusting everyone's clock-ins and outs to hide overtime, which is very illegal. He was quietly let go a few weeks later. No reference, no promotion, nothing. Meanwhile, our warehouse just got a bonus for improved operational performance. We used part of it to throw a pizza party. Someone brought in a Bluetooth speaker and queued up a song. It was Take This Job and Shove It. We laughed so hard the forklift drivers had to stop working for a minute. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to not miss another upload.